Some nouns in English are considered uncountable because they represent things that are seen as a whole or a mass rather than individual items that can be counted one by one. Words like furniture and advice are good examples. Furniture does not refer to a single object but to a collection of items such as chairs, tables, and sofas. Instead of being treated as separate pieces, the language views the whole category as a mass. That is why we say some furniture or a piece of furniture rather than furnitures. Similarly, advice is not thought of as individual unit but as a kind of abstract guidance or information. If someone gives you multiple suggestions, the language still treats it as advice. And if you need to point out one suggestion, you say a piece of advice. This difference is tied to how English organizes countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns can take numbers and plural forms, while uncountable ones cannot. Uncountable nouns often refers to things that are too abstract, too small, too complex, or too varied to be counted individually in normal speech. For example, we do not count sugars when talking about the sugar in a bowl, but we can count sugar cubes if we break it into individual units. In the same way, you cannot say advices, but you can say suggestions if you want to count them. Many uncountable nouns in English come from categories like materials, water, sand, gold, abstract concepts, happiness, information, knowledge, or collective items, luggage, equipment, furniture. Historically, the language developed to treat them as masses rather than sets of individual objects. Other languages sometimes treat these differently. For example, in some languages, furniture or advice may have plural forms, but English chooses to group them into uncountable categories. The key idea is that the absence of plural is not about logic, but about how English frames these words as wholes rather than countable parts. If English speakers want to talk about one element from such a category, they use expressions like a piece of, an item of, or a bit of to make them countable in context. Please like and subscribe.